Ladies and gentlemen and 3D sculptors, we're going to start to sculpt in Maya. Okay, so make sure that at your notes you write part 3 sculpt and R equals reference, and I'll tell you why in a second. All right, here's what you're going to do. All right, first of all, if you don't have all the tools that I'm going to be using, make sure that you go to display, UI elements, and show all of them or restore them. Okay, so if you don't see anything that I do, you can't. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start sculpting with polygons. Okay, so no, we're not. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put this into a layer. Okay, so we're going to use the selection tool. We're going to click this. I can't right now, but you can. And hit shift and click this. Okay, and then you're going to go into the channel box and you're going to go layers, create layers from selected. Okay, and then you're going to double click on it and you're going to change it to reference because these are our reference pictures, and click save. Okay, and then you can change this to an R, which is for reference. Okay, and you can't mess with it. If you want to turn it off, you can turn. That's V is for visibility. Okay, but anyway, so now it's in a little layer. Okay, all right. So the next thing that we're gonna do is, I don't know. Okay, well, that's what we're gonna do. All right. So the next thing we're gonna do is this. Is we're gonna start with a polygon and we're gonna put that into its own layer as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go to polygons. Okay, I'm going to go to polygons and I'm going to start with a polygon and I'm going to click and drag and make it the size of our shark. Okay, and then I'm going to go up and make it the size of the shark. Okay, and then I'm going to come over, so I'm going to select this thing, make sure I'm in object mode. I'm going to come over here. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the attribute editor and I'm going to click on the Lambert and I'm going to change the transparency. So it starts off like this. I'm going to change the transparency so you can see the shark. Okay, and then I'm going to hit Alt. Okay, and I'm going to click my mouse. And so look, by the way, Alt and the mouse will do this. Alt and the middle mouse button will do this, and Alt and the right button will do this. So that's how you navigate around. Okay, so I'm going to go something like this. Okay, and then I'm going to click on the selection tool and I'll select this thing, and then I'm going to click on the scale tool. Okay, and then I'm going to scale this thing to match my shark. Okay, so that way, and then this way I'll scale it down to be about the right size of my shark. Then I'm going to go to the move tool. Okay, and I'm going to move it up. Okay, so that's about right. That's pretty darn close. Okay, so that's about where I want it. The fins, we'll get the fins later. Okay, so then the next thing, hold on, let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything here. Okay, yeah, so make sure you write that down. Okay, all right, and so write all that down. Okay, and then don't forget also, I have on here that for the space bar, if I hit the space bar, I get multiple views for the top, front, right. So what I can do is I just click on the one I want, hit the space bar again, and I can go back here. Okay, so now hang on. So now what we got to do now is we got to break this thing up into the pieces we need. So we're going to go to the we got to right click, I guess, and go into object mode, select this thing. Okay, so we got to go into the polycube 2. Okay, so I gotta give it enough subdivisions. So I'm gonna give it like 8 subdivisions so that I can get all the parts. And then this way I'm gonna probably do 4. Okay. So I'm gonna hit Alt. Oh no. Okay, so I gave it 4 this way, and then we'll give it 4 this way as well. Okay. All right. So there we got it. And now let's go this way, and we're gonna probably need to scale it this way as well. We don't need it to be quite that big. Okay, so something like that. Okay, so there's our shark. Okay, and so now here's the next deal. Okay, so the gizmo 2, the object mode, and the component mode. So here's what we're talking about. Write these things down. Okay, so what we're gonna do is this. So we're right here, and when we're in object mode, we can delete the whole thing, by the way. So if I were to click on it in object mode, if I hit delete, it would delete. But the other thing we can do in object mode that I forgot to do is we're going to go to the channel box and we're going to go layer, create layer from selected. Okay, and we're going to call this the shark. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and save that guy so we can turn our shark on and off if we want. Okay, so now let's zoom in here. I'm going to hit Alt. I'm going to go around. Now, here's what we're going to do. So here's so we're in object mode, we can't really edit it. But if I go into the edge mode and I go to this tool right here, I can go and I can select all. If I hit Alt, you can see I select all those edges right there. Okay, and then now with those edges selected, I can go to the Move tool. Here's my gizmo, and I can move this thing how I want. Okay, how I really want. So I'm gonna start doing it piece by piece. Now, another thing you can do is you can go to vertex mode. Okay, and in vertex mode, you can select individual points. So like I can say, oh, I want to do that point, and I can move that one, and I can move that individual point. Okay, but we don't really want to do that right at the moment because I'm going to hit Control Z and undo that. Okay, so we're going to go through and we're going to basically grab, I think the edge way is the best way to go. So we're going to go back to edge. Okay, so we're going to do it piece by piece. So I'm going to go to my selection tool. I'll select all these edges. You can't see them, but they're selected. I'm going to go to move, and I'm going to move that. And I'm going to just keep going step by step until I get to where I'm done. Okay, so you keep working until your shark looks like this. Now, let me show you. I had to scroll over, click, click. I have to scroll over until I get to my Lambert. Okay, so I turned the transparency back so I could look at the shark. So I'm going to hit Alt, and you can see what my shark looks like, okay? So one thing that I'm looking at, let me turn the transparency back. Okay, so you're going to turn the transparency. So you can see that this area didn't come out very well. I need like another point right there, right? So here's what I do. I need to add a point. Okay, so what I do is I'm going to right click on it, I'm going to go to vertex. Oh, by the way, I forgot to show you face. If I do face, I can just select the whole face and work with that whole face. I can move that whole face around. Okay, but I'm going to go back to, not vertex, I'm going to go back to edge, and I'm going to select this, and I'm going to hit shift so I can select multiple ones. 3, 4, 5. I got those. Okay, and then I'm going to go to edit mesh. I'm going to go to add division. Okay, and then I just want to add one. Okay, so I add division. Now you don't see a difference until I right click and I go to vertex. So you can see now it added a vertex there. So I'll just work with that vertex. Okay, so now I'm going to go to this tool. I'm going to select all these vertexes, and then I'm going to go to my move tool. Okay, and then I'm going to say, oh, let's move those right here. Okay, and so you can, then I would actually move this one over here. So if you didn't get enough detail, like if you want to keep playing with it, you probably could add one there, and so on and so forth. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to edit the shark this way a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go to my shark this way, and then I'm going to change the view here, and then I'm going to just keep working on it. So I'm going to select that edge, I'm going to move that thing, and I'm just going to keep going until I get the shark the way I want it this way as well. Okay, but let's see what's next on the list here. Okay, so we talked about this. Edge is the line edge, the vertex is the individual points, and the face is the face or shape, and you can move all those things. Okay, so that's enough for now. We'll keep going later.